Welcome to HealthTech Talk. This is where business, healthcare, and technology collide. Our host, Vin Chodor, interviews healthcare innovators and industry titans who are striving to make the world healthier with bleeding-edge human ingenuity. You'll hear it all on HealthTech Talk. Now, here's your host, Vin Chodor.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I am Ben Chodor, and you're listening to Health Tech Talk, broadcasting live from 640 WGST on the iHeartRadio network and broadcasting globally on the iHeartRadio network as well. I have two amazing guests today. I want to jump right into it, but first I want to make sure everyone at home has been having an incredible week. I feel like we're really into March now. Spring is coming. I'm starting to get spring fever, and our first guest is one of the perfect guests to lead us into spring fever, is Kourt Smith. He's the founder and CEO of Davinci Vaporizers. It's a really amazing company, but before we get into this company, Kourt grew up in the Bay Area of California with strong interest in technology and things. So he wanted to put things together, and in 1988, Kourt moved to Taiwan, where he set up his first international business, a bungee jumping business. And by 1995, he began building bungee towers all over China and quickly developed the language and skills needed to work with Chinese manufacturers. While in China, Kourt produced China's first X Games and worked alongside many multinational companies. And by 2002, Kourt returned to the U.S. and settled in Las Vegas, where he continues to create new products and manage an extremely vibrant business. Kourt, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Good afternoon, Ben. I'm doing really good. I'm glad to be on the show. I want to say hi to all the listeners out there.
Well, I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. Your company's really on the move. I'm hearing amazing things about it. And so your mission of your company is to bring innovation and innovative products to the market. And Davinci Vaporizer is the most notorious of the brands that is held by East-West Bridge. First of all, what is East-West Bridge, and how did you start the company?
Well, I moved over to Asia back in the 80s and, began a quick education on how business was getting done there. The big hype in the 80s was Japan. Everyone wanted to go to Japan and learn Japanese. And I had a very good econ professor who said, let me tell you something, guys. There's this country. It's outside the top 50 economies in the world right now, but it's called China. And the next Ford and Rockefellers are going to be born in China. And it struck me really deep. I thought, wow, my kids are going to grow up reading about Lees and Wongs that were changing the world. So I got on a plane, and I landed in Taiwan because in the 80s there really wasn't much to do in China, but I figured Taiwan was a springboard to go learn Chinese and dabble my hand in business there. So, the East-West Bridge, obviously, with, now 2-3 decades of Asia-America business, East-West Bridge was the first company that's up here in the States. The mother company to handle those affairs. And now we build a variety of products in different industries, some for ourselves and some for others. But there was a long story in getting to that point.
So, but Kourt, it's not just about bringing products from over there to over here, but you're building products that you're selling globally, right?
Yes. The mission statement is bringing innovative products of mine to market, and that is being involved in manufacturing and working with China. I saw at the cutting edge of the knife the impact of outsourcing to China. I am a speck of sand on the beach in the big picture, but watching how the Chinese absorbed our technology, absorbed our management systems, absorbed our product marketing, everything, and I thought, gosh, what do we do to fight back and retain? And so I'm passionate about the innovation. I believe that one of the key competencies of America's growth is going to be our ability to innovate, which is absent in many other countries. China's not innovating new products. They just prefer to borrow our ideas. So much of what we stand for is to encourage the innovation of America's ideas and to bring these new products to market, because the true long-term value is going to be in the brand and in the sales and distribution. But the manufacturing will continue to flow to whatever lowest cost denominator country was on the map at the time. In the 80s it was Japan, and then it was Taiwan, and it moved to China. And in 10 years, who knows, it'll be Cambodia and Africa and India.
So you're not all about building your own product. You're working with other entrepreneurs out there. So entrepreneurs listening to this show, if they have really good ideas, you help them out, or is every product homegrown?
We build predominantly is for other people's products. I cut my teeth because, of course, now going back in the tape, I'm in China. It's the 90s, and I'm building bungee towers around China. And in doing so, I had to negotiate and contract, large turnkey projects in the China marketplace. And I got a PhD, so to say, on how to negotiate and contract with Chinese factories. And then I parlayed that experience because now I had a number of other Americans were saying, hey, Kourt, I'm having troubles building my pairs of socks in China, or I'm building banners. I think my first product I built for someone else was NASCAR banners. And I realized the value to have an on-the-ground team, that speaks the language and knows the local customs to negotiate and handhold projects through China. So after having built products for other people for many years, the growing desire for me to build my own ideas and to innovate my own products to market became the forefront of my attention.
All right. So I'm going to jump in because one of the things that I read about you, which I really, really respect as an entrepreneur who started a company, I think there's 3 things that are most important. Investors invest in management. They invest in the CEO and the idea. But management, CEOs, have to build a culture. And I want to ask you, I saw these 5 letters, G.E.F.I.D. What is it and what is it all about? But I love it.
GEFID. GEFID is that's the driving force around here. And it's a business management practice that we align ourselves among these common values. We built the acronym GEFID to describe that we are looking to attract and retain people who are gutsy, exceptional, fun, innovative, and driven. And we found the people with those values, they do really well, and they come into our company and are great contributors.
How do you
people who aren't?
And people who aren't don't make it, right?
We let them go on to other paths in life.
How do you find them? What's your key? What do you look for in the number one thing? If you're interviewing me, what's one of the first thing, or what's a key interview question that you ask?
It's funny you ask that because it's the common sentence here is, if I were to call your friends and ask them to describe you, what words would they use? And people lay out their values on the table. Hey, my friends would describe me as hardworking, or diligent, or honest, or I'm a fun guy to be with. So we listen to those words very intently to see what they think their friends would describe them as, and that's the best indicator.
All right. I just got a couple more personal questions, and then in our next segment, we're going to dig deep into the product. But I see that you're an avid traveler and motorcyclist, and I want to ask you about that. But it also sounds like with all this, with GEFID, you still believe in a work-life balance, and how important is that?
Absolutely. If we're not offering a quality of life experience, we're not going to be able to attract the best people. Because I think truly the best talent out there, they too carry the paradigm of a balanced life. It's good work, it's good play. And the characters that are humbled around our campground here definitely have that same mindset. They work hard, they play hard.
Great. And you're avid motorcyclists. How many countries have you ridden a motorcycle through?
Ben, I have been through at least 30 countries. It started by pure chance. I remember in 1989, I landed into Bangkok. I went up northern Thailand, and I wanted to go see the hill tribes and, do the elephant treks and all those neat things. So I rented a motorcycle and started exploring my way around the jungles. And about 3 months later, I came out and said, wow, what a lifestyle. All
right, I'm going to have to interrupt you for 1 second because I have to take a commercial break. I want to thank everyone at 1-800-Public Relations for all their media support and everyone at Stream VPG for all their help putting this show together. And we'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Geico presents Fan Mail to a Pig.
Dear Maxwell, I just want to say thank you for making my Geico Insurance ID card digital. It's easy to find on the app. It doesn't give me paper cuts, and I always have it on hand because it's on my phone. Because of this, I finally cleaned out my glove box, which was filled with years of paper ID cards. Any thought on what I should put in my glove box now? Sincerely, Trent Patterson. Trent, what can you put in the glove box? Here's a crazy thought. How about gloves?
digital insurance ID cards, just a tap away on the Geico app.
Hi, I'm David Nicholas, wealth coach and financial advisor. We live in a world where billions can be lost in a second. Are your retirement accounts protected? Are you tired of your money barely earning 1% at the bank? Are you frustrated with the ups and downs of the stock market? There's a better way. I'll show you what we do for our clients to protect their principal and maximize their returns. So give us a call, 404-890-5606. We're going to give you 1 hour of our time and waive the cost. 404-890-5606.
We're all used to inflation when prices and interest rates go up. But now, some experts think the U.S. is experiencing deflation when prices and interest rates go down. So what does that mean for you? Well, besides lower prices, it means mortgage interest rates are also lower, which means it's a great time to make the cash call at 855-875-CASH and refinance your mortgage and save, even if you refinanced recently. Today, Cash Call's 15-year fixed is 2.99% rate and APR. With absolutely no closing costs, no points, no fees, nothing. So make the cash call at 855-875-CASH and save with a lower interest rate, pull tens of thousands out of your home, or maybe do both. Cash call. We're designed to save. Call 855-875-CASH today. That's 855-875-CASH.
Cash Call Inc. Equal housing lender. Call 866-900-8744 for licensing information, terms, and restrictions. Rates may change without notice. NMLS unique identifier 38512.
That's 855-875-CASH.
What are you doing?
I'm turning this hedge into a dolphin-shaped topiary.
But this house isn't yours. In fact, I just showed it to you.
Oh, I'm gonna buy it.
Softly confident.
Well, I am an excellent candidate for a home loan. I pulled an 809 FICO score at Experian.com, so getting a mortgage is merely a formality. What do you think I should do with this other hedge? A giraffe?
Get your credit swagger on. Become a member of Experian Credit Tracker and find out your FICO score powered by Experian. FICO scores are used in 90% of credit decisions.
Talk Radio 640 WGST.
In 1941, the USO was born to honor and comfort the men and women of our armed forces around the world, to simply and heartfully thank them for the extraordinary gift they give us all. And so the USO will carry on until everyone comes home. To find out more about the USO, visit us at uso.org.
Welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Health Tech Talk, broadcasting from iHeartRadio Studios, 640 WGST, and streaming worldwide on the iHeartRadio network, which is sort of appropriate for my guest, Kourt, because he has basically traveled the entire world. Probably everywhere that our show is able to be listened to, Kourt has traveled. So you were just talking about your first motorcycle trip and where you went. How many other places have you been to? You said like over 30?
Yeah, I did most of these travels in Southeast Asia. Okay. I've done through Africa, South America, and many of the great Western states here, and Europe. So it's an ongoing quest.
Great. I just want to remind our audience that you're listening to Health Tech Talk. With me is Kourt Smith. He is the founder and CEO of Davinci Vaporizers. Okay, what is Davinci Vaporizers? Tell my audience about the company that is all over the place, hearing great buzz about the company.
Yeah, Davinci Vaporizer is doing really well in the market. Obviously, the legalization in the country right now, the green movement's brought a lot of attention. We were already involved in the health products, lifestyle space with the e-cigarette move that was 6-7 years back. And looking at the industry, we thought people want to be able to embrace aromatherapy with a high-quality product, with the assurance knowing that the materials being used and the device in their hand is safe and professional. And as an inventor, tinkerer myself, I've always been inspired by Davinci. So we landed on that name Davinci because we thought, how would Davinci approach this? We did build it the most robust with the best materials and the best design. And that's how we look at this particular product.
It is a lot more beautiful, I noticed, than a lot of the other products in the space. How long did it take you to develop it?
I'd say each product takes about a year. Okay. You start with the original concept drawings, you go into engineering, then you go into prototyping, and then a lot of tweaks and improvements at that point. But generally, it's about a 12-month cycle.
Okay, so what's the safety in the product? And so when people are looking at a vaporizer to use for whatever recreational use they're using it for, or medical use they're using it for, what should they be thinking about, and what makes Davinci so safe?
I think the key attributes of Davinci is we are the only pocket-sized vaporizer that offers a glass-on-glass experience, which means we're not introducing other elements of plastic or batteries or PC boards into the air path of what you're inhaling. So if you're vaporizing chamomile or tobacco or sagebrush or whatever the element is, you want to be able to vaporize that, which means there's for those who don't know what vaporization is there's a boiling point of every element. So water boils at 212, right? There's in a herb, there is a boiling point at which whatever active element's in will lift off and with the water content turn into a vapor, and you inhale that. Well, you wouldn't want to inhale other things if it was melting plastics or some of the finer materials used on PC boards, other plastics and silicones. So we're really notorious for our glass air path, which is the cleanest taste and the most pure, safest way to inhale something.
Wow. So where does like the FDA and government regulations play in coming out and launching a product like this?
The FDA is playing a very weird role. They're looking at the entire e-cig industry. They're not sure what to do. They see the benefits because now, look, people aren't smoking. They're not combusting. They're embracing something called vaporization. And in fact, I don't know if you noticed that the word of 2014 was the word vape. Yep. It was such a big impact in the world that people now know what it means. And so the FDA, at one point, they want to clamp down and regulate it and get their claws into it. At the same time, they're afraid that they try to shut it down or squeeze it too tight, that they're choking a bad thing. So the advocates of, hey, we're trying to solve the smoking in public places problem, and being able to vape is a great solution. So the FDA has kind of been lukewarm on getting too deep on it. I think there are some safety concerns. This is an electronic. It does have a battery. You are putting things close to your face. And Americans, as cute as we are, we have a tendency to want to modify everything.
Yes.
So some of the news has been some people are going in and they're buying aftermarket batteries and they're soldering on additional componentry, which makes bigger clouds or more smoke, but they're also then compromising the safety attributes of that product. And I think that the Davinci is strong in that people know they're buying a quality piece that's been well engineered, well manufactured, and they don't need to go modify it to make it better.
All right, so I understand why people would use a product, and I think it's really cool. But so let's just talk about tobacco because you mentioned this, and I don't know anything about this. So if I smoke a cigarette or I use tobacco in a vaporizer, not that tobacco is healthy in any mean. I don't want anyone who's listening to the show think that smoking is good for anybody, tobacco. But is it better if you're going to smoke? Is it better to vaporize it than smoke it from a cigarette?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's an abundance of white papers and clinical studies that when you're combusting, you're creating the smoke, you introduce a lot of carcinogens to your air path, and that's what people are avoiding is all the elements known and unknown when you put fire to it and you combust something. A lot of elements they're not even able to track down. In vaporization, it's very clear at what boiling point or the temperature-specific range of what elements are going to lift off. So in tobacco, what most people are chasing is nicotine. And at about 250 degrees Fahrenheit, the nicotine will come off the tobacco as well as the flavor, and you can appreciate that experience without having smoke or carcinogens. Now, in contrast, if you put that temperature above 385 degrees Fahrenheit, you'd roll into your first carcinogen called benzene.
Right.
So the art of vaporization is trying to find the right temperature for the element of the herb or the effect that you're desiring to get to.
So there's a science behind it, and no two vaporizers are created equal, right? So you can't just assume because I'm going into a store or I'm going online and buying a vaporizer that it's going to do it the right way.
No, I mean, we're obviously very proud and very biased of the Vinci. The Davinci Vaporizer has those two attributes. It's the glass air path and it's the temperature specific. We're able to dial in within 1 degree of accuracy the temperature of the loading the storage area. And that's an achievement that only Davinci has been able to achieve. And our competition is chasing that, but I think we're a few years ahead in the R&D side on this, and so we're running as fast as we can with it.
So remind my audience first, where can they find the product online and brick and mortar?
DaVinciVaporizer.com is out there. We have a lot of advocates coming to direct to our website, as well as there is distribution across the states. If you walked into a tobacco store, a smoke shop, ask them for Davinci, I'm pretty sure they know what you're asking for, and the reputation's well known.
So let me ask you, I'm going to make an assumption here. So in Colorado, is the market share bigger than, let's say, New Jersey?
New York has a lot of people, so there's actually a lot of business in the greater New York area as a whole. Colorado is unique because it's legal both medicinally and recreationally. Right. So although we don't market to the marijuana market, we're extremely popular with the people in that space because of the quality of our product. Denver's different than West Coast. The people in Denver, a little more old school, a little more in tune still with the combustion side of things. But sure, there is a great market in greater Denver altogether. Colorado is pushing a lot of forefronts.
So now I want to move into another direction. One of the things I noticed on the website is the aromatherapy use. All right, we are becoming a holistic world. And explain to me what the aromatherapy uses of a vaporizer are and how does it work?
So the difference with aromatherapy versus, say, Western medicine is that aromatherapy is not a drug. It doesn't. You don't take something for an immediate effect. The aromatherapy for us started with a gentleman he was a Stanford PhD, a biochemist up in Northern California that extracts the essential oils out of many flowers. And he builds formulations for relaxation, digestion, body comfort, mental alertness, or for sleep. And the aromatherapy is you are ingesting, you're inhaling the essential oils through vaporization of specific formulations of flowers that through repeated use can increase a sensation for relaxation or digestion. Wow. They're not drugs. It's not a heartburn medicine. You take a pill and bam, all of a sudden you feel better. It's not an antacid. It's a homeopathic, natural approach to curbing the problem, as opposed to taking a drug to mask it or cause up some other reaction in the body. And there's a lot of people embracing this choice. They prefer a homeopathic or aromatherapy approach as opposed to a Western medicine approach.
And I noticed you have like 6 or 7 different types, right, on the website already?
Yes.
That's amazing. Everyone should check it out. It is DaVinciVaporizer.com. And I am talking to Kourt Smith, not only the founder and CEO. Kourt, I only have about a minute and a half with you. I want to ask one question because I have a serial entrepreneur on the show, and this is HealthTech Talk. It is a business show. Any advice to, would-be entrepreneurs out there who want to start their first business?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. People need to get their ideas looked at by someone else. If they're new to the business world, they've got a great idea, innovation. I think it's trying to go upstream to someone with a little more business experience. Says, look, I've got a great idea. How do I get this launched? People are watching Shark Tank. They're watching All American Makers. They can contact us. I review a lot of product ideas with people. We give them a quick manufacturing angle, saying, look, this product is going to cost you, $1.25 to have it manufactured, and then they can go forward in their due diligence to see if it's a good business move or not. But again, we're passionate trying to bring out the innovative products in America. And we really want to see that happen.
And I think there is a lot of mentors out there. You should share your idea. Don't be so scared everyone's going to steal your idea. You need to talk to people who've done it before. And I think it goes back to your GF ID, right? You better be gutsy, exceptional, fun, innovative, and driven, and you better have a lot of passion. So, Kourt, in my last 15, 20 seconds, tell the audience how they can get in touch with your company.
Guys, please Google up Davinci Vaporizer. There's tons of YouTubes on it that show about our product and what we have. The website's got those information. Welcome you back to Vinci Vaporizer and hope to make you a fan.
Thank you, Kourt. You were amazing. I cannot wait to have you back on the show when I talk about more entrepreneurs. But I need to take a commercial now and come back with our next segment. You've been listening to HealthTech Talk. I want to thank everyone at Stream VPG and 1-800 Public Relations for all their support. And we'll be back after these words.
Atlanta's compelling talk. Talk Radio 640 WGST is available anywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Download it now at WGST.com.